Hello and welcome to a scene from the living world of darkness, changing venue, New Hope. And in this scene, Dame Donna and Daylind have just returned from a posh event um, with a lot of insinuations and complications therein. Daylind had been very quiet all the way back to the apartment. And once they get back, this is when he'll actually start talking to Donna, other than the occasional or yeah.
Which, to be fair, she probably chattered all the way home. That's what she does.
Yes, and like I said, other than the random yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
You know, he'll like he'll sit down and like kind of scratch and rub his head. It's like, you drag me to all these crazy events, and I have no idea what's going on half the time.
I didn't expect this to be quite so posh either.
Neither. I thought we just went out for drinks.
I mean, I knew it was an opening.
Yeah.
It sounded fun. Who would have thought the Crooked Feather would be a place that, like, you have to be rich to go to?
Well, I can see I'm not going to be spending much of my hard-earned money there. It requires too much.
Well, I mean, you could just get a beer. They probably have beer, right? Either way, I made sure you got your first drink.
But it was free.
And the food was free, too. See? I got you all set.
I know I could count on you.
I mean, you know me. I like a hot dog as much as and pizza as much as I really get into that stuff, you know?
It's all good. So he just looks at her and he's like, well, definitely. I've noticed that this thing is growing quite steadily.
Scoring card?
Scoring card, you know?
Isn't that what you said?
He's like rubbing his shoulder.
I think maybe I didn't.
Oh, no,
Here.
he's like rubbing his shoulder and he's like, I think this thing is spreading quite
Yeah.
steadily.
I was guessing, and that's why we really need to do this. Like, you've got to figure this out before it goes too far.
True. Also, I need to find a way to maybe other than trying to find some other way to get rid of the curse.
What do you have in mind? Everything we have right now seems to point towards talking to that friendly, lovable, wonderful person that we need to find. Maybe we just haven't found the right book yet, though. I don't know.
Can you tell me about Eiluned?
I know a lot about it, actually. Although there's people that know more for sure. What do you want to know about it? And what does that have to do with that? As she gestures like toward your shoulder.
That is the House of Secrets and Sorcerers, is it not?
That's what I hear. There you go. You have some knowledge of it right there.
I was thinking of maybe joining the house, or trying to at least.
It's
He
not
looks at her.
she kind of blinks because she wasn't actually expecting that. Like,
I know she wasn't.
yeah. Okay, well, you've been kind of saying a lot of things that really aren't house oriented for a while there.
I know.
I mean, you've never been disrespectful about my choice, but I always knew that you didn't necessarily feel the same way I did.
That's the thing. I don't feel one way towards or not. But it definitely seems being at a house is an advantage.
Now you understand why I did it. I did it because I wanted to be able to do more, and I can, with more knowledge, which Eiluned has, and more connections, which Eiluned has, I can do more.
And now you understand why I'm having this conversation with you.
And she nods, and she's like, "Okay."
Listen, I don't expect win fame and nobility on the battlefield. I know what I'm good at.
Hey, I once got invited to. I got an offer of interest from a house because I did kill a couple of Philly. If I can do it, you can do it. And she kind of gives him the once up and down thing, like you're bigger than me kind of look. Of course, I was in kind of an emergency situation where I probably would have died if I hadn't. But whatever.
True.
Okay. Well, the first thing you need to know about houses is that there's a cost. And this is in general, because I'm sure Eiluned is not the only one. There is a cost. If you want to join, then by all means do, but you'll never. It's nice not always knowing you have someone who has your back, but at the same time, they have expectations of you. You have to do what is best for the house and work what you want to do around that. Sometimes that means you have to change your methods because they don't want you to do it a certain way. It's a different way of thinking. They will all expect that of you. That doesn't mean you lose your your free thought. Like you can think what you want, but that's the main thing I've learned since I went this path. So far, it's been worth it. It's definitely more stress, but it's been worth it. You probably, my old knight is now the countess of this county. Talk about connections.
True.
But I'm not really in it for power. Some of them are. A lot of them are. They're she. It is a she house you're joining. That's something else you need to keep in mind. That means that it will be harder for you. Like it's harder for me. I had to do a ridiculous amount to become what I am. But at the same time, I didn't do it for that. I think the meaning behind what you do is important too. Because it has to make sense to you. The things I did were things I would have done anyways because it was for the best for Queens. You know how much I love this place? This is home. And I want all the citizens here to be able to live peacefully and happy lives, you know? So I guess you just think about your motives and think about what you're willing to give up to get what you want and decide if that's worth it. As for Eiluned itself, it really is more about what you do, not about like what kith you are, you know? That's the reason I was able to get in. They saw that, well, let me explain to you something. When I first became a squire, I didn't have a house. Baron Alexander told me I needed to. Because I would probably just get eaten alive, basically, if I didn't have something backing me. And he was right. So I was considering about 2, maybe 3 options. And he also told me I had to find a knight to learn from. And the first person that came to mind was Dame Maven. Because I'd already seen her around. I'd already gone to her for information before, which she was willing to work with me on. And I had seen her in court. And since I already knew how I felt about you know who, as she kind of, you know, the things named after birds. I already knew how I felt about them. And I watched her in court one day actually pull something off that was against what they wanted. It was very impressive. And I knew in that moment she was very smart. And I thought it was amazing what she pulled off. So I went to her and I asked her if she would be my dame. Eiluneds are political creatures. But we try to do it in quiet ways. Like, it's one thing, I think you're more likely to see us as like the power behind the throne than necessarily the countess. Although obviously there are exceptions. Sometimes you have to make a big move to keep certain people from gaining more power than they should have. Besides, the last count was an Eiluned, and we didn't want to lose this particular county. But anyway, the house itself is full of secrets, and it is full of people who will help you with secrets. If they know something, they might, for example, help you get an appointment with someone from far away if you need to talk to them, like my house did for me when I wanted to visit Dame Autumney.
Understandable.
I'm not quite sure what you're wanting to know exactly, other than it can be pretty cutthroat. And with Eiluned, it's there's always more going on than it looks like. It's not like Fiona, which I kind of imagine being right up front. You know? They have their passion and they're just out there doing the things. It's not like that with us. We tend to be more behind the scenes and trying to do things within etiquette, so being polite or whatever, but still getting our point across. That thing and she probably did actually skip her words around a little bit there. Because she actually did know her as Dame Maven before she became Countess, you know. So, Countess Maven did to Sir Jarek. I think she probably used Terry. Terry probably meant well. And then used what Terry said to get out Jarek because neither of us wanted Jarek there. So I understand her doing it. I don't really like that she used my friend to do that. But you got to respect that she got it done. Do you see what I mean? Morals are a
Yes,
little morals are a little different. There's a lot more gray in Eiluned. You have to get comfortable with your unseelie side too.
why is that?
Because you're going to slip back and forth more than you ever have before. I have. How do you think I did what I told you I did? I couldn't do it like this, and I knew it had to be done. And her eyes, she's not looking at him as she says that. She's kind of just, her eyes are sort of averted. And, she's probably petting Trubbish absentmindedly, not even realizing what she's doing. It's just something to do with her hands. You seem kind of like black and white. And maybe, I know you're not just straight black and white. I know you.
I operate in a lot of gray, believe it or not.
I do believe it. I just, sometimes you have to use the method that's required to get what you need. In the moment, you'll have to decide if it's worth it or not. In the case of what I did, it was one life versus the lives of hundreds of us. Maybe more, And I made the choice. I'm not proud of the choice, but it accomplished what I needed, right? That's the thing, we're doers. And you have to think outside the box to get things done. Speaking of which, I actually would like to introduce you to my squire sometime. He's a troll, and I fairly new Eiluned, actually. He solved a plague in the Kingdom of Willows that was happening, a chimerical plague.
Wow.
Yeah. Very impressive. So I thought you might be interested in that, because, hey, that's science right there. Magical science. Do you have any questions? I'm trying to give you the basic gist without, because you have to understand that the people in Eiluned, and honestly, probably every house, with the exception of maybe less of Fiona, but they're all going to be we do things to get things done, and sometimes, yeah, it gets kind of gray. But that doesn't mean I've lost my morals. I know what I did was wrong. And I know that I wouldn't betray you, because that's not right either. I wouldn't betray an oath. And I have them. Sorry, heavy subject. Would you like a drink?
I think I would, actually.
Do you want a real drink, or do you want a beer?
I'm pretty sure there's some rum in here somewhere.
Real drink it is. She's just gonna go get the bottle of rum and like 2 shot glasses. She's not gonna mess with any mixers. And she'll just pour them each a shot of rum and hand his to him. And then kind of hold hers up for a toast.
Well, here's to finding a place to belong.
I would, yeah, and she'll drink to that. She'll take a drink, drink, take it back, and she'll be like, if you think Eiluned might be the right choice for you, I would be happy to introduce you to. Well, you've met Maven, but I would be happy to bring it up to her at some point since she's, the highest ranking Eiluned in this area. And you could go through proper channels, and I'm sure she'd meet with you, and we'd go from there. But just make sure you're sure when you do it, because once you join, okay, yeah, I think they can release you out of the house, but they don't have to release you out of the house if you don't want to be there anymore. You don't make this choice without, using it as a backup plan or something. And you will always have the reputation of being kind of shady.
It's like the way things stand, I have more than a reputation for that.
I'm just telling you everything. Well, not everything. I can't tell you everything because you're not one of us.
I understand, but it is the reason why I asked you about it,
She
because
nods.
I know you'd be honest as
It's
much
kind
as you would. He'll pour her another shot.
Yeah. Does he pour one for himself too?
Of course.
Okay. Drink. um, the other thing I should warn you about, if you do it, if you've noticed that I tend to get into situations that aren't always maybe the most discreet or something along those lines, it doesn't feel very good if I go against my nature to know things, to learn things. And that actually might work well for you too because you and I are kind of alike, we like knowing stuff.
True.
But it actually starts hurting. Like it feels like, I don't know, kind of like banality or something. If I don't do it and it's a situation that, obviously piques my interest. So that's something to keep in mind too. They will back you up though. But in return you do back them up too. If someone comes to me and says, "Hey, can you make this magic last a little bit longer?" Because I can do that. I would do it for them because in return, like I might be able to get someone to change my face because I need to go do something without having my face. You know what I mean? Like we'll do favors for each other. Just because apparently I have more family than just my crazy grandma and my grandpa who's addicted to books and my uncle who's a baron and my other uncle who's the county seneschal and all of my dad who's just the best person in the whole world. You get the idea.
I do.
Speaking of which, I should invite him my dad for dinner sometime. It's been a while since I've had him over. You can be here too, of course. You mean dad loves you because he loves me.
Oh, so I wouldn't have got the job if I had. Maybe he didn't.
It's true, but you also deserve to have the job. He wouldn't have hired you if you weren't actually good for the job. He's still a bargain, you know.
True.
Yeah. Heavy stuff. The cool thing is in theory, Her Excellency actually told me before she became Her Excellency that she would come and visit my new freehold whenever I got it up. Like she'd come for the party. I wonder if that's not going to stand now that she's Countess and shouldn't necessarily be hanging out with lowly knights.
A promise is a promise. Is it not?
We're still friends, she and I. She's obviously a lot more stressed now and she still likes to yell at me. It's life. She sort of smiles.
Hmm.
She's also still a she.
This is true.
Are you considering any other houses?
Considering a curse, House Liam. You're supposed to laugh.
As an Eiluned, I can't judge House Liam, I think. I'm shady. They're oath breakers. There you go. Sounds like we all got our issues, right?
True. But
But what?
oh, well, that's something that I really want to do, though. House Liam?
You're not sure on it?
No, not really.
I think with your mind, if you were going to join a house, and keep in mind, you could look for a motley or something if you're trying to be able to make a better stand for things or something. It's up to you what works for you. I just found this path kind of accidentally because Baron Alexander thought I did some good stuff. And it's worked for me, you know? It's not easy though, but if you're going to do it, I mean, Eiluned would probably suit you very well. You keep secrets. And they won't judge you as much for things that might be questionable, if you know what I mean.
True.
Like, she's going to ponder a second for something, and I'm going to assume by now she probably has, yeah, she probably would have it on her. Her chimerical knife, the Thalane knife. And she'll pull that out, which you've probably seen it before at some point, but she doesn't usually have it out. But she's going to pull it out and like lay it on the table. And she'll be like, we'll just say you've probably seen it in passing, like you know what I mean. Like she probably wouldn't have had it like here, look. And she'll be like this. And let me see. I know I'm pretty sure I have a picture of it. At least I can grab it real quick so you can see what it looks like.
Okay.
I know it's there. Wow. There's her gun. Oh, here it is. Ignore the mouse. Ignore the mouse. The mouse is just there. But I'll take the bottom thing down, and that's what you see when you look at the knife.
Nice.
Yeah, she'll kind of push it towards you. So if you know like it's on the table flat, like she's not like aiming it at you. She's just kind of pushing it towards you if you wanted to pick it up and look at it. It's up
He
to
does.
you. Yeah, and she'll just she'll watch him for a second and she'll be like, so where do you think that came from?
Hopefully not out of someone's back. He smirks.
Well, it wasn't for lack of trying. Um, yeah. And she'll kind of lean towards him and kind of trace over the design, the sort of red metal design on there.
Uh-huh.
And she'll be like, this is a Thalane knife. It is a Thalane treasure, actually. I don't know if they know about this or not, but I'm using it anyway. Because using it against the Thalane is kind of perfect. This belonged to that bitch who tried to kill me. Like 3 times.
Well,
Yeah.
a badass little mission.
She just shrugs. She's just like, I was lucky enough to survive. And then when we went to hunt her down, I can't help what she was carrying. I took it because, we're not going to leave her with a weapon. And my uncle said that it didn't matter if I kept it, so I did. It actually makes me harder to hit when I use it.
Well, then use it.
I do.
No one likes to be hit.
It's ouchy.
You're a dodgy little thing anyway.
It's and she'll kind of point, just sort of gesture to the symbol again, and she'll be like, something else about this particular knife. It's actually a symbol of the Fomorian's Dark Brotherhood. So a lot of the Thalane will recognize it if I'm using it.
Hmm?
But you see my point, why people would see this as a little questionable, right?
A lot questionable.
Do you see it as questionable?
Only thing I see questionable about it is imagine you disarming someone. He smiles.
Well, I tend to. You haven't seen me fight much yet, have you? And her gun out that by now I'm sure he would know that she had made for her by a broker,
Yeah.
And so she pulls the gun out with the owl look to it, and she'll pull the gun out, and then she'll pick up the knife with her like her left hand, and she'll be like, "That's how I do it. I activate the knife, and then I can shoot with my gun."
You can understand how he is trying to picture you trying to be bully badass with that knife and the gun in your.
She does seem to be holding the gun quite like, she holds the gun, like she knows what she's doing.
Yes, but still, it's like watching a little kid hold a gun and a knife. Like, yeah, I got this. I'm like,
She just looks at him. She's just kind of watching his face as he's trying not to laugh or whatever.
like
I
I
hope you
said,
never have to see. I hope you never have to see. I've been in situations I had to. Just ask Terry. She was there when with those two Thalane.
I'm just trying to remember not to make you mad.
You know that's not my way. And she'll tuck the knife back away and the gun as well, because there's no point in having weapons out. She's not planning to attack anybody right now. It's a method that I find that works for me, because I've been chased down and I've run from them, and I've been in the middle of an ambush that killed so many people. But the thing is, that's the point, though. I'm not built to fight. And she kind of holds her arms out, like, gesturing to herself. I mean, I don't even have a real arm on one of my sides. But I found a way that works, right?
There you go. That you did. That you did.
And that's what an Eiluned does. You find a way. If one way doesn't work, you try the next way. You keep going. Why do I feel like I need my squire here to teach him this? I should really take notes about this.
He smirks.
He's a little awkward. A little socially awkward. I'm pretty sure he's a test. I mean, I'm a puka and I'm in a house and I've made night.
Well, are you busy tomorrow? Perhaps you can go do some research in Tarnar.
I'll make time for you. Am I busy? I mean, absolutely. I have to save the world tomorrow. But saving you and saving this barony, this county, whatever, is part of saving the world, right?
That's why you're Wonder Woman?
And she'll stand up and put her hands on her hips and, stand real tall in that Wonder Woman stance. By real tall, that puts her at 4'9".
Right.
Absolutely. I am the most Wonder Woman of Wonder Women. No, we can go to Terranar. The one thing this stupid title's good for is, in fact, getting into places like that. Now, if I wanted to get into, say, Sanction, it would not be a good time to have a title.
Well, I got an all-access pass.
You do? I had to earn that the hard way. I was a commoner still.
And that's the lab.
By the hard way, I mean I had to go to Baron Alexander and explain why I wanted to get into the books. And he gave me permission. Mostly because I offered to tell him anything I found useful.
Those who are too lazy to search for knowledge often find ways of conning them out of others.
I'm not going to deny it. I've totally conned people out of knowledge. Although it's really more deals than conning. I prefer deals.
All right. Well, I'm going to call it a night. How about another drink for the road? You'll pour another shot.
It'll make us sleep better, won't it?
That it will.
Let me know what you decide, or if you have any more questions.
That I shall. Dona. All right, and then we will end the scene there with them having a drink. Thank you for playing. Thank you for watching. Good night.